We start today with some actually pretty good news for Democrats. If you're thinking about 2026, Republicans have suffered a stunning upset, and the political implications are significant. What happened is that Democrats flipped a very red Iowa State Senate seat. Now, you might say, okay, one seat in the Iowa State Senate. What difference does it make? This has no national implications. And you would be wrong if that was your belief, because here's what happened. This seat flipping, the details of which I'll give you in a moment, ends the 3-year supermajority of Republicans in the Iowa State Senate. And it really could serve as an important warning shot for 2026 when you combine it with some other elections that we've seen. So this particular election is Catelin Drey, a Democrat from Sioux City, Iowa, who defeated Republican Christopher Prosch in yesterday's special election for Iowa Senate District number 1. This is a district that Trump carried by 11 points in 2024. And the important sort of math of it is that Drey won by 9 points. And that means it's a 20-point swing towards Democrats compared to last November. Trump won by 11. 9 months ago? Trump plus 11 9 months ago. Democrat Catelin Drey plus 9 months later. That's a 20-point swing. This is similar to, when we think back to election night 2024, viewers of my live stream may remember that while I called nothing, right? We waited for the networks to call at about 10 after 7 p.m., maybe it was 20 after 7 p.m. Eastern on election day, when I saw the results from Kentucky and from Indiana. States Trump won in 2020, states Trump won in 2016. Trump was leading at 7:20 p.m. on election night, Kentucky and Indiana, by way more than he had won them in previous elections. That's when I knew it wasn't looking good for Kamala Harris, because we look at trends and we look at changes. And so going from Trump plus 11 to Democrat plus 9 in 9 months is a real problem. It's a real problem for Republicans. And it also, just specifically in the Iowa Senate, Republicans had a 2/3 supermajority, which basically meant that Governor Kim Reynolds could confirm appointments with no Democratic input. That's over. So now the governor is going to need at least one Democratic vote to get her nominees through. So the implications of this are more than like a sleepy local race. You look at the underpinnings, this sort of campaign underpinnings of this. National parties went all in. The DNC sent over 30,000 volunteers to help out in this race. There was a huge text and phone banking operation. They were hammering the Republican image as basically just, this is a rubber stamp for Trump, which is what they have been. Republicans poured in more than $160,000 in various contributions, in-kind contributions for the Republican, mailers and digital ads and feeding volunteers pizza and all of it, and the Democrat won. So now we zoom out a little bit, not all the way. We zoom out just partially, and we see a pattern. We see a pattern where Iowa has now had 4 special elections in 2025. Every single Iowa special election this year has swung towards Democrats 20 or more points. We zoom out again. You look at special election trends nationally, and you see the same thing. You see Pennsylvania, you see South Carolina. Democrats are overperforming. That doesn't mean they win every race, but compared to just 9 months ago, Democrats are doing far better. Why is this happening? A couple different things. Number one, special elections in general do draw in more politically engaged people. And so, you have one level of turnout for the national presidential elections. Midterm turnout is usually lower. Special election turnout is usually even lower. So there's a more activated turnout that skews towards Democrats. It may reproduce itself in the midterms of 2026. It may not. Number two, there are a lot of Trump voters that are really Trump hobbyists. They never followed politics or even voted prior to Trump. We don't know if they will continue voting after Trump, but if Trump's not on the ballot, they don't show up. So that's another aspect to why these special elections are numbers that are resulting in numbers that are not so good for Republicans. We also have to look at the dynamics of Iowa specifically, where you have farmers and working class voters that aren't doing well as a result of Donald Trump's tariffs and the labor crackdowns and the lost subsidies. And so they actually may simply be turning against the Republican Party. And then finally, we've now had January to almost September, 7.5, close to 8 months of creeping authoritarianism. There are some red state voters, presumably, that are rethinking what Trump's one-party authoritarianism would mean for them and for their lives. So if you talk to Republicans about last night's results, they're kind of just downplaying it. They're saying, oh, turnout patterns or Democrats effectively bought the race. But that's really spin. The reality is that this could be significant. This is a district that Trump easily won just a few months ago, and they got clobbered. Their supermajority in the Senate is gone. And if this is what 2025 looks like in red Iowa, you have to consider that there are going to be other Republican safe seats, believed safe seats, that could be in for a shock next year. Grocery, gas, and energy prices, as well as job losses, reduced hours, all of these things are hitting voters pretty hard. And so it's no longer an abstract policy debate. This could all be tied to the idea that Trump-era economic policies aren't good for the average person. Economists have been predicting this for a while. We've been talking about it for a while. Iowa farmers, in particular, are not benefiting from Donald Trump's policies. So this is really a warning shot across the bow for Republicans. It's a brutal loss for them. This doesn't mean now Democrats nationally get to do whatever they want. All it means is that in Iowa, the governor now needs at least a little bit of Democratic buy-in to get her nominees confirmed. But that's still something. That's not nothing. And then the question is, how can we build momentum over the next 14 months? Amazing that's all it is. Over the next 14 months into the midterms.